Hey, hola, namaste. It's the Lost Canuck here again. And guess what? Got the cooking hat on. That only means one thing. We're going to be doing some cooking today. We're going to take these simple ingredients and transform them into something amazing. Stay tuned. We're going to be making some stuffed meatloaf today. Lost Canuck style. I guarantee you, you have never had meatloaf like this before. So forget that dry, boring meatloaf you grew up with as a kid. This is going to be fantastic, ooey gooey melty goodness. I guarantee it. So stick around and see what my secret ingredients is to make this thing so good. So trust me, this is going to change the way you think about meatloaf forever. Let's get started. We're going to fire up that Lone Star 42-inch pellet smoker and get going. And for my Hispanic viewers, a mis amigos que hablan español, los subtítulos debajo. And for my Hindi friends, Nietzsche subtitles. All right, so let's roll that intro. Okay, so let's get started. So basically I've got 2 3/4 pounds of ground beef, 80/20, okay? Good stuff, got it from the butcher shop. Actually, this is from Feller's Ranch in southern Minnesota, local beef, good stuff. So basically what I'm going to be doing here today is just, I'm going to mix everything in and then put it in a pan, stuff it, bring it down to the smoker. So let's get started on that. Okay, so typically I use white bread, but I didn't have any. So I used some old keto buns that we had left over that were kind of going stale. You use whatever you want. Stale bread, anyways, you need 4 slices approximately. And then I'm going to take 3/4 cup of milk and just dump that in on top of the bread. And I'm going to mix that up with my hand. Just let the milk soak into the bread. Oops. You don't want to throw the bread all over the place. Okay, there. All right, so it's kind of soggy now and mushy. Oh, you see that or not? There. All right, so we're just going to let this sit while we make everything else. And hey, for my friends that don't eat beef, you can also make this with ground chicken. So if you're not into beef, chicken will work. Just ask the butcher if there's any extra fat ground chicken with some extra skin. The local guys might do that. Okay, so I've already pre-made a lot of this stuff to save us some time. Like dicing up the buns and measuring out the milk. So what you need is 2 beat eggs. Just dump that into your beef. I used half of a dahlia sweet onion, diced. You can choose whatever kind of onion you like. That's what I like, and I didn't use the whole thing. There's a lot of onion in there. I like onion. And then we're just gonna mix this up by hand, like so. And to be extra healthy, I've diced up some tops of onions, table onions. So we're gonna a little more onions. And then finally, for extra stinky breath, actually, when you cook this, you can't even, it tastes great, but it doesn't make your breath stink. I have a clove of diced garlic. I just buy this stuff, so I put in a 1/4 cup. All right, so there's all of our ingredients. Oh, and then don't forget to throw the breadcrumbs are kind of your binder in the whole thing too. So I'm going to throw those in. All right, so got to really mix this up good. If I was a real professional, I'd probably have a meat mixer to use. But I'm just your average, everyday backyard kind of guy. And I'm just showing you how to do this from your own home if you don't have all that fancy equipment. That's pretty sticky now. You can see it's starting to really bind up together. That's what you want to see, so it doesn't fall apart on you. You want a little bit of barbecue sauce flavor in there too. I just happen to have a couple of my favorite sauces that we're going to mix into the mix. Let me pour them out here. Hi, well, we're going to use some W sauce, Fireshire. It's a little spicier than the regular W sauce. Again, when you cook out, I got almost 3 pounds of stuff here. You won't taste the real spicy part, but it'll have a little tang to it. So I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of this in. And then pick whatever favorite barbecue sauce you got. I like this Petey's Texas Barbecue. It's a local sauce made in Minnesota, just across the river. So I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of that in, and whatever you choose, make sure it adds up to about 1/2 cup. And now we're going to put in a 1/4 of the Baron Burton's W sauce, Fireshire. Okay, so now that we have the sauces in, let's put some, I really like this Tailgater's barbecue party rub. It's Sucklebusters makes this. It's really good. And there's no MSG in this. At least I don't think there is. Nope. So this is actually not so bad. So we're going to put a little bit of this in, just over the top, and then mix it in. Just like that. Plenty. Okay, we're going to mix the barbecue sauce and the spices in together so that it's a real kind of a paste consistency. It smells great. Too bad we don't have the smell-o-vision that I've always talked about. So I'm going to grab the pan and then I'm going to start transferring this out of the pan. Okay, so here's my standard loaf pan, meatloaf pan. I'm going to put some into the bottom first. I probably made a little too much, but oh well. Always make 2. Okay, so you just want to knead this into the pan so that it's kind of level, okay? Alright, so in the middle, remember I said we're going to use a top secret ingredient that makes everything really yummy? Well, we're going to put a little divot here in the middle, karate chop it with your hand. Alright, so that it's kind of a U shape. There we go. Now I'm going to grab the secret ingredient. Alright, time for the secret ingredient. Well, not so secret anymore. I've got some local Wisconsin Schulzberg Creamery cheese, which is really good. This is bacon cheddar. And there's little pieces of bacon in it. So I'm just going to stuff the middle, our meatloaf, with cheese. I'm just folding the slices over. Put a few in because you know what? We're in Wisconsin, home of cheese. So we're going to make it real cheesy. Kind of like my channel. Boom, boom. Lots of cheese in the center. I might as well put one more in. Can't hurt, right? Who doesn't like cheese? Well, videographer wants a piece. There you go. Okay, so that's plenty of cheese. Now I'm going to put the cap on the top. And what I do is I'm going to pop this out of the mold, okay? And then put it on a wire tray. And then put it in the freezer so that so it forms a crust. All right, well, the Lost Canuck forgot one thing, and thankfully we're early on in the process. And Lost Canuck makes plenty of mistakes, so I forgot to line the pan with cling wrap so that it pops out easier. This is actually the worst part of the of making the stuff, is lining it with cling wrap's not very fun. It'll release easier. Okay, let's glove back up, dump the stuff in, and put the cheese back. And I have to pick up my son from school in a few minutes, so let's see if I can get this done and into the freezer before I gotta go. Now we're going to take our cheese that I took out of the center. That's plenty of cheese. Press that down in there a little bit. Okay, and now we'll put our cap on. Like I said, I'm going to put this in the deep freeze for about an hour to let it set up. Actually, probably maybe an hour and a half, so that when I pop it out and place it on the wire rack, it doesn't all fall apart. Okay, this is a 9-inch loaf pan, and it's kind of fun to say loaf every once in a while. 3rd grade humor coming out. Well, I used it all. So this is a 5x9 by 3-inch loaf pan, pretty much level to the top. So, amazingly enough, I got it done in time before I have to go. We are going to take this, put it into the deep freeze, leave it for an hour and a half so I get a good crust on it. We'll crust freeze it. Pop it out. We're going to put it on this wire rack here. And then I'm going to season it after I get it on the wire rack with some Mitch rub. It's a barbecue style rub. Really good. And then we'll bring it down to the smoker. I'm putting it on the Lone Star Grillz 42-inch pellet smoker. It's a smoker, just so you know. And we'll get it going. I'm going to set it about 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Leave it on for about 4 hours. I'm also going to be using a couple of my different wireless probes just to see how they work. I'm going to be doing a 3-way comparison here in one of my upcoming videos. Hey, Lost Canuck here. One thing I did forget was don't forget to follow me on social media. And I'll put the QR code right here beside me if you want. It's for my Instagram account. So I post things there all the time as well. Okay, see you in a second. All right, Lost Canuck here. We're back. It's been in the freezer for about 2 hours, the meatloaf. Time got away from me a little bit, you know how that is. And we're going to put a little bit of rub on the surface before it goes on the pit. And this is that Meat Mitch rub that I was talking about. And again, it's 3 pounds of meat. All right, now here comes the moment of truth. Will this pop out with this cling wrap? All right, well, it was vacuumed in there a bit, but I got it apart. And it doesn't look too bad. It's holding together nicely. I'm going to just reposition this to the middle. Just make sure it's all firm. So now we're going to just put a little more of this Meat Mitch rub on it. You can see some of the cheese sticking through here, so you just want to press that to make sure it doesn't leak out. So we got our rub on the surface, got it on our wire rack, came out with the cling wrap okay. So I'll see you down at the pit. I already have it preheated at 250. Should take, I'm thinking maybe 3 hours or so. The first couple hours I'm going to put it at 250 I like smoky flavor. We'll get the smoke in this thing. And then the last hour, maybe hour and a half, we'll turn it up to 275, 300. We'll see what the internals are like. And again, I'll be using 2 different wireless probes, and because I'm just checking out my new Combustion probe to see how it is. I already know my RFX will work, but anyways, we'll see you down at the pit. Hey, Lost Canuck here. Well, we're down at the Lone Star Grillz 42-inch pellet smoker, and I'm getting ready to put the meatloaf on. Just have it set at 250. It's running right around there. I have the old, still have my old mix in here of pellets and hickory chips, which pairs well with beef. So first of all, I'm going to put in our my new combustion probe here in one end, and I'm going to put the RFX probe in on the other end. These are the minimum insertion lines. Now these have to be covered for this thing to work properly. Let's put this one in here. And then we're going to put this one down here, just probably under the cheese. They're both just slightly under the cheese. We got both probes in. Let's put it on the bottom rack, just to the left of center. She's smoking, that's for sure. So it should be the temperature of the meatloaf should be pretty close to what the pit probe says, according to Eric Okerholm on Facebook's little heat map. It's off by a few degrees, but it's not so bad. Anyway, so I have the ThermalWorks RFX system probe in, and I've got my combustion probe in, and I'll let you know on a later episode on what I think of them. And I'm going to just let this thing ride for 3 hours or so. I'm not going to touch it. And then near the end, I'm going to glaze it with a little bit of glaze on top, just like you would, just like your mom used to do on the old meatloafs she made. And then we're going to slice it and test it. So I'll see you when it's time to glaze it. Lost Canuck out. Hey, Lost Canuck here. Well, we're back at the pit. It's been about 3.5 hours that it's been smoking. First 2 hours, I had it set at 250, soaking in lots of smoke. The last hour and a half, I turned it up to 300, so we wouldn't be eating at midnight. And the internal temperatures have reached 160. I just have to put a little bit of glaze on it. And, well, since I'm originally Canadian, I'm going to put on some HP sauce. I really like this stuff. You can get it at your local international section of your grocery store. And if you can't get HP, I would have put a little more W sauce on, or make up your own glaze, whatever you like. So let's take a look. Oh yeah, she's smoky, all right. Oh, some of the cheese leaked out. Oh well. Just pull this out, and we'll put some of the glaze on. So she's all glazed up. I'm going to leave her set for inside the smoke for another 5 to 10 minutes. Do a quick temp check when we come back. And that should be all she wrote. Alright, well, we'll see you when it's time to take it off, but it should be really soon. Alright, hey, Lost Canuck here. It's been about 10 minutes after we glazed the meatloaf. So we're going to pull it off, bring it inside, bring it upstairs to the barbecue lab, and give her a taste test. Just going to do some quick temperature probes first. See if it's okay. Oh, it looks good. Alright. Well, maybe I'll leave it on for a few more minutes. 150. Yeah, not done. Okay, so we're going to turn it up a little bit and come back in about 20 minutes and it should be finished. We'll see you then. Hi, it's been about 20 minutes. I had to leave the meatloaf on for a little while longer to make sure it was internally cooked. I'm going to just check. One last quick poke. Actually looks really yummy. Oh yeah, 160, 158, 164, 168, so it's done. Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't quite done before, but it is now. Okay, let's bring it inside and bring it up to the barbecue lab and see what it looks like. Looks smoky. Hey, Lost Canuck here. Well, we're back up in the barbecue lab with the smoked meatloaf. It smells smoky, smells delicious. Let's pull out our temp probes. You can see some of the cheese leaked out of it, but let's take a slice in and see what it looks like. Moment of truth. It's certainly juicy, that's for sure. Wow! All right. Well, it looks good. There's a nice smoke ring around the outside. The cheese is all nice and melty. Yeah, it's pretty juicy. There's lots of juice coming out of here. So I am going to take a little slice of this and see what it tastes like. All right, so let's take a slice out of this thing. See what it's like. Yeah, it's got a great smoke ring. I can smell the smoke. And just take a couple of samples here, see what it's like. I can taste the smoke. The spices are good. Got a little bit of onion there. Yeah, it's nice and smoky. And the glaze worked really nice. I'm gonna have to say that this is probably the best, one of the best meatloafs I've made. All right, so if you stuck with the video this far, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. For all you new viewers out there, hit the smash the like and subscribe. This is super easy to make. It was fun to make. And if you like anything else that I used on the channel today, cutting board, knives, stainless bowls, all that kind of stuff, there's links below in the description on where to purchase that kind of stuff. It helps the channel. They're affiliate links. So it just helps me create more content. And if you're looking for gifts for people, they make great gifts. So my family's hungry. It's a little later than I thought. Pin to pin, it was about 4.5 hours right from when I put it on, because I started lower than normal. Most people smoke at 300, but I did it at 250 because I wanted more smoke flavor. I'm a smoke flavor kind of guy. If you don't like smoke flavor, start it up higher and it's quicker. All right, so more content coming. Don't forget to check out my Instagram page here. Again, I've got more content coming. And why don't you check out some of these playlists I'm going to put up right over here. All right, take care. Lost Canuck out.